You have ideas, you have passion, but sometimes the motivation just vanishes. Today we're going to dive deep into why this happens and, more importantly, to give you ways to reignite that creative spark and come back to making the art you love. And recognizing why you are feeling this way is the first step to overcome it. Procrastination is not laziness. It's often a complex mix of fear, perfectionism, overwhelm, and fatigue. And these feelings can just trick us into believing that making the effort is not worth it. So what is the cause? Starting something new can feel daunting. Where do I start? There's also an invisible pressure to always create something perfect, a fear of making mistakes, and the comparison to others, especially where we see so much polished art online. But let me tell you a secret. Every artist experiences this. A painter, a writer, a designer, and even that famous artist that you really admire. But the difference between you and them isn't talent. They just got a couple of tricks up their sleeves to overcome this. And you can too. We all have this pressure to create something perfect, the masterpiece. From the moment you put that first mark on paper, you're already creating expectations. And suddenly, it's not about the joy of the process anymore, but a final product that has to be perfect. And this mindset is a bit of a trap. That blank page is an opportunity to play, to experiment, and to have fun. You don't have to prove your skill. Just shift your mentality to the act of creating itself. I can guarantee you'll find so much more joy in the process that way. Start thinking of your creative space as a playground. What color combinations are working? What material should I use here? Is this technique working? Let's test it out. Suddenly, you're creating a space that lets your imagination run free. And embrace the idea of ugly practices or ugly sketchbooks. Honestly, it's that easy. Just start in any way you can. Have you ever wondered why so many artists tone their canvas with a solid background color? This is one of the reasons, to break the emptiness. All of a sudden, it's not just a blank canvas staring back at you. And hey, you've started, you put your first mark, you've started the process. Open up your sketchbook. Draw a loose line. You might be surprised where that mark can take you. It just gives your brain something to start on, something to react to. And if you find it hard to break into your good sketchbook or your good supplies, just lower the stakes a bit. I really like to have an ugly sketchbook because that's where the pressure is off. You can even work on loose pieces of paper that later on you can stick into your sketchbook. That way you lose the fear of wasting materials. It's about losing that mental barrier that keeps you from beginning. And if you have larger, scary projects, just divide them into smaller, manageable tasks. As a writer, you don't dive straight away into writing a novel in one sitting. You start with a paragraph, maybe you outline a chapter or just plan your characters. And the same should be applied here. Start with mixing the colors or mapping out the shadows or even just preparing your space. Having a general plan, even if it's flexible, provides a sense of direction and reduces the uncertainty of where to go next. Do the easiest thing first. By starting and doing something starts the momentum and you can go from there. I can't count the amount of times I sat down at the desk, opened up my sketchbook, had all of my materials ready, and I still didn't know what to draw. So I started endlessly scrolling on Pinterest and wasting time which, by the way, I was thinking about making a separate video about how to use Pinterest as an artist. So if this is something that would interest you to watch, please let me down in the comments and I will definitely be making it. Now back to the prompts. This can be a specific color palette. It can be word association. It can be just a random sentence. You might not think this, but limiting yourself in certain cases can actually spark your creativity, because sometimes our mind is bouncing on 10 different ideas and it just needs one to focus on, but it doesn't know where to start. And if you're thinking of starting a big painting project, before diving straight away into the canvas, just sketch out your ideas. Brainstorm, collect references, do your research. Where is the light coming from? Thumbnail sketches are your best friend here. These steps break down the intimidation of that final piece. Tell yourself you only have 5 to 10 minutes to work on your projects. And if you start, and if you can carry on, that's great. That's your starting point. But maybe after 10 minutes, nothing is coming to you, but you still made that effort and you still be quite rewarding because you sat down, you did spend the time. It didn't work out, so moving on to the next day. When your mind feels cluttered and you have too many ideas or seemingly no ideas at all, try a brain dump with no judgment. Grab a piece of scrap paper or even open a blank digital document and just write or sketch whatever comes to mind. Don't filter, don't edit, don't go back on yourself. Don't worry about how silly or irrelevant it may seem. Scribble shapes, jot down words, list your worries, list your favorite things to do. The goal is to clear your mind clutter and to just get everything from up here down to the paper. Now, I understand it can be hard to implement all of this advice. I mean, I still have times where I make something in my sketchbook or I paint a painting and I absolutely hate it. But instead of dwelling on it, I acknowledge it. Okay, so this technique didn't work this time. Why? How can I make it work for next time? And I think just by accepting it, you just take a step forward. Mistakes are part of your learning process, and they can definitely lead to new ideas. Your brain will start thinking of overcoming certain ideas from maybe color mixing or technique. And especially when you're tired, everything can be so overwhelming, which can definitely put a damper on your creativity. But please be kind to yourself. Just accept it and see where you are. There's absolutely no reason to beat yourself up for not being a creative genius who can work for 12 hours straight and always have brilliant ideas. Take a step back to reduce the pressure and open yourself up to new ideas. Aim for something small, imperfect, something that's just for you. Especially when tired, you can get sidetracked by what's around you. So try creating a quiet space, a calm space. You can even just turn off the notifications on your phone, put your phone somewhere away from you or even in a different room. And I think it's quite important to make sure your creative space is tidy. That really helps me out a lot because distractions are everywhere, from social media or just random household tasks I've been putting off. Like suddenly folding my laundry sounds like a much better idea than starting a new drawing. But one of the things I try my best to do is to leave my space tidy from a previous session. So if I'm finished with my painting or my sketchbook, I try to make everything go into the place it came from, because this way, next time I want to do something and sit on my desk, it's a clear slate. I can just start straight away. I look at my desk and it looks more inviting. I'm sure when your desk has been a mess and you walked past it, the least thing you want to do is to draw in your sketchbook. But sometimes all it takes is a change of scenery, so don't sit at your desk. Go in the lounge, or go on your bed, or go in the garden if the weather is nice. Just by moving to a different room or getting out of the house or going for a short walk can shift your perspective and provide new inspiration. Our brains just thrive on new environments. I mean, every single time I've gone abroad or I've been on holiday, I just come back so refreshed creatively. I just want to open up my sketchbook and sketch stuff from my trip or just have inspiration for stuff that's not even related to it. And I do really think a quick shift in your surrounding can help your new ideas flow and inspire you. Art can feel lonely a lot of the times because it's mostly just you in your room or in your office with your sketchbook, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It does help to maybe share some of your goals with a friend, or in my case, just finding an online community. And that can be from Instagram, TikTok, or even some art Discord server. And just finding people that you resonate with artistically, or maybe having a friend that you can have some sketchbooking sessions together. It's so refreshing. I love to even just jump on a Zoom call with a friend and just mindlessly doodle while talking about random stuff, although most of the times the case is that we ended up talking a bunch and drawing almost nothing. But it's still refreshing, and that's what I think sometimes you need. And this is where joining art challenges could be very helpful, because most of these art challenges have a community and they have people that take part in it the same as you. You will find people to talk about it, or maybe it's someone that's doing this challenge and you're thinking, oh, their work is really good. Start a conversation and I'm sure they will respond back to you, and maybe you'll come out of this with a friend. And you have to remember, it's not about being productive every single day. I don't think that's realistic. It's about just trying to develop some sustainable habits that you can stick to, that inspire you, and just help you in your creative journey. Waiting for that perfect moment or for that perfect idea rarely happens. It's all about trying and experimenting. There isn't anyone out there that's just opened up a sketchbook from day one and has drawn the most perfect thing ever. Start messy, start small, start big. There isn't a rule to it. The importance is for you to just start. So here you have it. I would say this is a small guide for you to kick procrastination out of the door and maybe deal with fatigue as well. Because let's face it, if you have a day job and you're trying to also juggle your hobbies and your passion, it can get quite overwhelming. So are you going to try any of these tips? Do you have any other suggestions, any other ideas, anything that you do to combat these things? Because I would love to hear it in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, comment something that you enjoyed, subscribe, because it really does help my channel a lot and I absolutely love making this type of videos. And yeah, just keep creating and keep exploring, and until next time, bye!